Well, today we're ranking the Breaking Benjamin albums and the 3 Days Grace albums, and I'll be doing Breaking Benjamin first. Now, keep in mind, fair warning, some of my placements of the albums with Breaking Benjamin are probably not going to be very popular, especially with what I have at the bottom, but just keep in mind, this is just my personal ranking. You don't have to agree, but feel free to let me know your ranking in the comment section below. But anyways, it's going to get started. At the bottom, I have We Are Not Alone. Now, I know some people are already getting unhappy, but personally, I don't get why some people put this album at the top, mainly due to some of the songs on the album, such as in the second half. But the reason I have it at the bottom is because there are a good number of songs on the album that do lack replay value for me personally. Some of those being Breakdown, Away, or Forget It, and maybe even Believe too. But don't get me wrong, there are a good number of songs on the album that are pretty good, like So Cold, which is one of their classics, and same with Sooner or Later, and you also have Follow and Simple Design, which are underrated but great songs too, and also some of my favorites on the album too. You also have Firefly, which is another song that not many people or not many fans talk about, which I think is also a pretty cool song too. But it's pretty much to sum it up, the reason why it's at the bottom is mainly comes down just to the replay value for me. But next we have the album Dark Before Dawn. This was of course their comeback album, and I will admit, some fans might not admit it, some do, but some of the songs do feel like more of the same. But at the end of the day, I still enjoy the album though. Some of my favorites are Failure, Angels Fall, Breaking the Silence, Never Again, and Defeated, which I think is kind of an underrated song on the album. And you also have some other great songs on the album, like Hollow and the underrated The Great Divide. But yeah, great album. So next we have Ember. I know some people are probably not going to, or many people are not going to agree with me with having Ember above We Are Not Alone. And as you notice, I got my copy signed, which is pretty cool, by all band members too. But yeah, I really dig this album. I think it's pretty good. Now, there was a time where the replay value of this album was not very strong. I will admit that, but lately there are some songs on the album that have been maintaining some strong replay value for me lately, like songs like Feed the Wolf or Red Cold River or Psycho, which is one of my favorites of the singles, and Torn in Two. You also have the underrated song Down. Now you can argue that song feels like more of the same, but I don't know, I really dig the song Down, especially the middle part of the song. But yeah, I really dig that song personally. But sure, maybe not one of their best, but still a great song, still a great album though. Now next we have Dear Agony. This album somewhat has it all. You have their dark sound, you also have their intriguing melodies, and you also have your moments of heaviness too. But some of my favorites are Fade Away, I Will Not Bow, Crawl, Give Me a Sign. And you have the underrated Into the Nothing, which not many people talk about. I think that's a pretty good song, but yeah, still a great album, still has many songs that still hold up for me today. Next we have Saturate. Now, I'm sure there's probably many people that would probably put this album more towards the bottom, but I don't know, I really dig the raw sound of this album and the raw emotion and all that. But some of my favorites are Wish I May, which I think is one of their best album openers, Polyamorous, Natural Life, Next to Nothing, Medicaid, Sugarcoat. There are many great songs on the album, but it also has its fair share of songs that not many people talk about, like Water or Sugarcoat. But yeah, I really dig this album. And next, at the top, I have Phobia. Definitely has to be at the top for me. For me, I feel like they're at their peak with this album musically. But yeah, some of my favorites are Diary of Jane, Breath, Evil Angel, which is one of my all-time favorite Breaking Benjamin songs. You also have Dance with the Devil and The Underrated Unknown Soldier, which is maybe top 15, top 20 Breaking Benjamin songs for me. I really dig that song. I really like the middle section too. But yeah, definitely their best for me personally. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to 3 Days Grace. Now, the two albums at the bottom for 3 Days Grace for me do go back and forth, and I'll go ahead and explain why. So the reason why these two albums go back and forth for me is because, well, I'm about to spoil what my bottom two are, but the reason why I'd like Human more is because I like the sound of that album more, the riffs and the melodies and all that on that album more than on Outsider. But the reason I would like Outsider more is because lyrically I think it's stronger overall and also more, I guess, ambitious in a way. But let's go ahead and get to the ranking. At the bottom I have Outsider. As you notice, I do have my copy signed by all band members, but some of my favorites on the album are Right, Left, Wrong, The Mountain, Infrared, which is my favorite on the album, Nothing to Lose But You, which I think is kind of underrated, and same with the next song, The New Real. Now, The New Real lyrically has moments that are a little bit corny or reach corny territory, but I still dig that song though. But you do have some songs that reach more towards their weaker material, like I Am an Outsider or Me Against You, but still a great album though. And next we have Human. Great album. Not one of their best, but still good. Some of my favorites being Human Race, Painkiller, Fallen Angel, Nothing's Fair in Love and War, but an I Am Machine. But pretty much to sum it up with my thoughts on Matt. With Matt, I like his voice. I like his, I guess, screams. I like his melodic vocals. My only real problem with him is just the lyrics. Nowadays, I feel like 3 Days Grace really needs to improve their lyrics, because the lyrics on Outsider and Human, honestly, not their strongest. So if they could just work on that, I think we'll be back on the right track. But again, still great albums though. Next we have Transit to Venus. And this is a pretty good album. When this album came out, I can't remember much about the reception. I know maybe some people didn't like it, some people really dug it, but when this album came out, I'll admit I liked it. I didn't like it as much as the previous 3 albums, but I still liked it for what it was. Some of my favorites being Chalk Outline, Misery Loves Company, High Road, Expectations, and Give Me a Reason. But this album does have its share of songs that still hold up for me today. But yeah, with this album they explored a little bit with their sound, and for the most part I think they succeeded with that well in terms of execution. But yeah, I think this is a good album. Next we have Life Starts Now, which nowadays I do see, once in a while I'll see some people put this album at the top, but of course the album that I have at the top is different, but I still really enjoy this album to this day, especially the first 6 songs. Those first 6 songs are excellent, especially No More. That's such an underrated song, maybe one of my all-time favorite 3 Days Grace songs. We also have some other great songs like Someone Who Cares and Without You and the title track, but yeah, still a great album. And next we have their self-titled. This is a sampler. Saw it cheap, figured why not get it, but yeah, I have many great albums, or wow, many great memories with this album, because this was my first 3 Days Grace album, and some of my favorites are Burn, Just Like You, I Hate Everything About You, Home, Drown, and the underrated Overrated song, which is of course the album closer. But yeah, I remember the day when I heard this album for the first time in like 4th grade maybe. Someone had the CD in class and they really wanted me to check this album out, so when I got home I checked it out and instantly loved it. And then the rest is history. But yeah, definitely a great album, and I have the edition that comes with the bonus DVD, which is pretty cool. And finally, at the top, I have 1X. Definitely their best for me personally. I feel like they're at their peak with this album, musically and all that. But some of my favorites are It's All Over, Pain, Animal I Have Become, which is maybe my favorite 3 Days Grace song. You also have Never Too Late, maybe a little bit overplayed, but still a great song though. You also have Riot and Time of Dying, which are also pretty good. But even the lesser known songs on the album are also pretty good too, like On My Own and Get Out Alive or Gone Forever. But definitely their best, and definitely has still many songs that I still go back to today. But anyways, those are my rankings for these two bands. Let me know your rankings in the comment section below, along with thoughts on like favorite songs or favorite albums or least favorite this or least favorite that and all that good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and a like, subscribe. Have a nice day and take care.